Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Monday Night Raw results. Okay, we got birthdays. This is for the week of June the 29th, 2020. Birthdays for this week. June 27th, Abby Lath, 1990. June 28th birthday, John Heidenreich. He was born 1972. June 30th birthday is Alicia Fox, 1986. June 30th, Cody Rhodes, 1985. June 30th, Terry Funk, 1944. June 30th, Scott Dawson, 1984. Rounding out birthday, June 30th, Sue Young, 1989. By the way, that's the day I'm doing this video, June 30th. Hopefully I have it uploaded. WWE Superstar Titus O'Neil and WWE Hall of Famer Batista are participating in Amazon's Stay Active All Summer campaign that runs today. Starts today. And you can see it, more info at this link. The Amazon live stream will see a few dozen athletes hold various events from workout classes to guided meditation, backyard games, and more of the day of exercise, which runs from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. on June the 30th. That's today. Which I won't have it uploaded by that time. The campaign will benefit UNICEF. That's United Nations Children's Fund. Good friends Titus and Batista will end the stream at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. They will be participating in a ping pong and foul shot competition. Are they better than Shaquille O'Neal? Watch to see. Full details on the hashtag Stay Active All Summer. Day of exercise can be found in the Amazon post from the Instagram post that I just gave you. Renee Young teased on social media that she has some big news to share on Wednesday. She tweeted, "Hey y'all, I'm so happy. I have a big fat announcement for everyone on Wednesday." One fan speculated, even myself, said that I was predicting she was either pregnant, definitely recovering from COVID-19, or was going back to Canada. She revealed that none of those were right. She said, LOL, sadly, none of those above, revealed Renee, but it's still good. Also, earlier, Renee tested positive for the coronavirus. She took the test on Monday of last week. Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix also commented on her tweet. She wrote, why are you teasing us? I need all good news. WWE also announced a Fatal 4 way to determine number one contender for NXT Women's title will now be an elimination match. The match is Tegan Nox versus Mia Yim versus Candice LeRae versus Dakota Kai, and is taking place on Wednesday's episode from the USA Network. And this week's episode is night 1 of American Bash. And here's the card for the cards for both nights. Second night will be on July 8th. First night, Roderick Strong versus Dexter Lumis in a strap match. Alia versus Robert Stone versus Rhea Ripley, as Ripley must join the Robert Stone brand if she loses. Tegan Nox versus Dakota Kai versus Candice LeRae versus Mia Yim elimination match to crown number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship. WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match, or actually Tag Team Champion Sasha Banks versus NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai. Non-title match. Oney Lorcan versus Timothy Thatcher. That's for night 1. Or however you're going to do it. In September of last year, WWE ran a pregnancy storyline with Maria Kanellis, teasing the reveal of the baby's father. Among the names mentioned in the story was her husband, Mike Kanellis, Rusev, and Ricochet. WWE even looked to bring in Maury Povich of the Maury Show to handle the fertility test. The story ended up fizzling off the WWE TV, and Mike requested his release from WWE in October of last year, after he and Maria had re-signed with the company in June of 2019. Earlier, on Monday, a fan on Twitter asked Maria who was going to be the father in that story. She confirmed it was going to be Mike, my husband. He was supposed to be turning face and do a story about recovery from addiction and motivation. But that's just too good, too real, too honest, and of course, I was supposed to be remaining the bad guy until I came back from maternity leave, babyface mama. Mike and Maria were later released as part of the company-wide cuts due to COVID-19 in April. As previously reported, there were several positive COVID-19 tests last week in WWE, with multiple sources reporting that the numbers are in the double digits. So far, Renee Young, Kayla Braxton, Adam Pearce, and Jamie Noble are the WWE staff members that have used social media to come out about being positive for the coronavirus. The anonymous WWE developmental talent that sent Wrestling Inc. an email earlier this week claiming that the talent relations informed wrestlers that they cannot come out publicly or make any statements is now getting his statement corroborated by f4wonline.com. Still not mentioning any names. All in-ring talent in WWE has apparently been told not to say anything about the COVID-19 situation. According to Dave Meltzer on latest Wrestling Observer Radio, it was also noted how someone involved with WWE during his time, this time, has now seen two of their family members also test positive for the coronavirus. Because of the influx of positive test results and circumstances surrounding them, SmackDown became a different show than originally advertised. This past Friday night, according to Meltzer, WWE made the call to only tape one condensed SmackDown episode on Friday and one episode of Raw, instead of going ahead with filming two full episodes of each show over the weekend. Thus, the Undertaker retirement angle. Also noted, WWE has since updated their taping schedule to accommodate the change in plans. The company will reportedly bring in stars that were absent from this week's taping at the upcoming tapings later this week. It was mentioned that AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan were among the superstars that were noticeably absent from SmackDown. Rumors have circulated that their absence was due to being interviewed by Renee Young, working closely with her on the June 19th episode of SmackDown. Mojo, Rawley, and Shorty G, who competed in a match on the same June 19th edition of SmackDown, were also absent from this past Friday's tapings. The duo match was reportedly produced by Jamie Noble, which could have contributed to why they were absent from the most recent episode. Sheamus, Otis, Tucker, Sonya Deville, and Mandy Rose were also reportedly absent from this week's SmackDown tapings. Check back for more of the source from Wrestling Inc. for more updates as they happen, as I will give you as well. Despite Fox Sports canceling WWE Backstage on fs1, they will continue to air classic WWE shows in the place of Backstage. fs1 will be airing 2018 Survivor Series pay-per-view at 8 p.m. That event featured then WWE Universal Champion Brock Lesnar versus then WWE Champion Daniel Bryan, then Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair, and then Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins versus then U.S. Champion Shinsuke Nakamura. Global Esports Organization Gen G today announced that Booker T will be a celebrity judge for Minecraft Pocket Edition build contest on Thursday, July 16th. Presented by Samsung, fans and influencers from across the country are invited to participate in the contest. I even sent word to my daughter earlier this afternoon. The theme of Build Competition, Building Connections, encourages players to build the people, places, and things that keep them connected, i.e. their home, favorite restaurant, a TV show, etc. Top builders will be selected and have the opportunity to compete in Building Connections presented by Samsung, a live streamed event on Samsung's Twitch channel on July 16th at 6 p.m. Central Time. Winners will be selected by a panel of celebrity judges, which include Minecraft content creator Rocky and Minecraft streamer Shovel, in addition to Booker T. The prize pool includes the Samsung Galaxy S20, Ultra 5G, AKG, N60 noise cancelling headphones, Galaxy Watch Active 2, and Galaxy Play Store credits awarded to the top builders. I'm thrilled to be able to take part in such a unique event. It's going to be fun, as this is going to be something we'll be talking about for years to come, said Booker T. I'm looking forward to sharing this experience with my kids, who have been building some incredible structures themselves, the other judges, and the Minecraft community. For more info, including sign-ups and news, gamers can visit buildingconnections.gg. Lana has a new vlog with Mandy Rose. At this link, where the two share makeup tips. Lana and Rose also posted the photo below in that link to plug the vlog, as well as recent TikTok video of them dancing together. Also, the Lana WWE, who loves at this link, and Mandy Rose as much as I do. TikTok at the Lana WWE 3. Also on Instagram. Rose also revealed her quarantine bikini in the Instagram at this link, to which Lana replied, "You are perfect." Olympic gold medalist and retired former UFC champion Henry Cejudo visited Team Vision Dojo in Winter Park, Florida on Monday. The school sent word that this was Henry's first time stepping into pro wrestling ring to train. He's converting from real wrestling to stage wrestling, choreographed wrestling. He and his trainer, Eric Albarakan, visited the dojo and trained some, also seen in video below. Following this, 33-year-old Cejudo, who had interest from WWE a few years back, won an Olympic gold medal in 2008 Summer Olympics and was a two-time USA national team member. He is a one-time UFC bantamweight champion and one-time UFC flyweight champion, and retired in May, but has expressed interest in possibly fighting again. Cejudo was on AEW TV recently with Mike Tyson. Team Vision also sent word that WWE 24/7 champion R-Truth stopped by the facility, as seen in this link picture, where also an independent wrestling star, Amber Nova, was with him. Seth Rollins recently spoke with Joseph Staszewski of the New York Post and said fiancée Becky Lynch hates just being at home away from while she's pregnant. And an interview can be seen at this link as well. Rollins was also asked about how Becky has been doing, just staying home and not being around the business for the first time in a long time. Oh, she hates it, Rollins revealed. She doesn't hate not being around the business. Obviously, any kind of entertainment industry is going to stress you out. So she doesn't miss that part of it. She missed the go. She missed having goals in mind. She missed having something to work toward. And it's hard because I've never been a pregnant person. So she's in a position 2, where she's had to just walk away and stop abruptly. Her job. It wasn't like most other women who are pregnant are able to still work their jobs while they're pregnant and slowly transition out for a short period of time. The nature of our industry, she can't do that. For her to go just a million miles an hour to nothing, then to try to figure out, what do I do now? In the middle of a pandemic as well, where there is just not a lot to do in general. It's definitely a test for her. But she misses being out there and going and doing stuff and being active and having goals and career-oriented stuff. That's just how she's defined her person over the years. It's definitely a challenge for her. She's awesome, and she's getting through it. But it's a different for her, sure. The Man and the Messiah are due to welcome their first child in December. Rollins was asked if he expects her to see Becky back in a ring at some point down the line. Oh yeah, I expect so, Rollins said. Obviously, that's going to be up to her and how she feels. Who knows what happens after childbirth once she becomes a mother? I don't know. I believe she has aspirations to return. I think she would rather go out on her own terms whenever that time may be, as opposed to stepping away for a child. I think she has aspirations to return, but I don't know. Things can change between now and December. Former WWE star Heath Slater teases an appearance at Impact Wrestling this coming week. Slammiversary. Posted on June the 30th. Heath Slater was one of many WWE talents that were released last April as WWE was making cost-cutting measures during the COVID-19 pandemic. Slater revealed on Wrestling Inc. daily podcast that his WWE no-compete clause ends on July 18th and will be a free agent, so he can sign for Slammiversary event. The world is crazy right now. We all know it. We're all on the inside freaking out and wondering what's going on. But it's one of those things that where I'm a guy that takes things day by day. So I know that by July 18th, I'm going to have to start making some moves, get my name out there again. As of right now, I'm enjoy doing garage workouts, hanging out with my kids and my wife, and just living life. Slater told the Wrestling Inc. last month, I can do whatever I want. Then I'm hanging in there until then and just working on myself, mentally and physically and all that good stuff. Slater posted a Twitter video at this link of himself training on an exercise bike with July 18th coming soon in the video, which is also the date of the Impact Wrestling Slammiversary pay-per-view. He also captioned the tweet with, watch the hell out. Impact also posted a video teasing many WWE wrestlers that were released back in April, including former World Heavyweight Champion returning to the company. Earlier this month, Rhino also teased a tag partner for himself that got kids. This was likely a reference to Slater catchphrasing, I've got kids. Wednesday's Great American Match edition of NXT on the USA Network will feature limited commercials. I gave you a brief of who's going to be in it. It's also a 2-night event. Also tonight, advertised, starting this week, is also, at the same time, AEW's Dynamite, which is also Fighter Fest. Night 1 on July 1st, Roderick Strong versus Dexter Lumis, first ever NXT strap match. Robert Stone and Alia versus Rhea Ripley, 2-on-1 handicap match. Rhea Ripley will join Robert Stone brand if she loses. Oney Lorcan versus Jimmy Thatcher, NXT Women's Champion, Io Shirai versus Tag Team Champion Sasha Banks in a non-title match. Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox versus Mia Yim versus Candice LeRae in a fatal 4-way. Elimination Match is number 1 contender. Night 2, as I gave you night 1 earlier, night 2 now is North American Champion Keith Lee versus NXT champion Adam Cole in a winner-take-all match. WWE SmackDown event, originally scheduled for Friday, April 17th, in Cleveland, Ohio, has been rescheduled for a live Raw taping on Monday, September 28th. Live Raw taping? That should be live Raw, period. The Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland has confirmed that the Raw date is now on the schedule, which could be one of the first WWE events to be held outside of the closed set performance center since the coronavirus pandemic. For schedule changes back in March. The arena noted that all original ticket purchase for the SmackDown date will be honored for the Raw date in September. Heck, when you've missed 2 dates already, a rescheduled date, you can need to get refunds and you haven't given it back yet. The show is scheduled to begin 7:30 local time that night. What I was talking about just then was Ticketmaster has not given me my money back, and neither has StubHub. Because you order on StubHub, but you still go through Ticketmaster to get your ticket. Which gives us time for usual pre-Raw main event tapings. It would be interesting to see WWE stars adding dates outside of Florida now that some states are reopening during the COVID-19 pandemic. But some are even going back to stage 1. Texas, from what I heard, I know one particular restaurant, Hooters, advertised that they were closed down. A certain manager and employee is no longer working there. A new WWE 365 documentary on Ricochet will go live this Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on the demand section. It will then air on the live feed at 8 p.m. The documentary will follow Ricochet during his last year on the Red brand. Raw on the USA Network opens up from the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, with the double contract signing already in progress. Raw Women's Champion Asuka is brawling with Women's Tag Team Champions Sasha Banks and Bayley. Samoa Joe and officials are trying to restore order, but it's chaotic. Joe does nothing but basically say, let him on. Joe is on the mic and he's interrupted by Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler makes his way out as Tom and Byron welcome us to the show. Ziggler interrupts Joe's introductions for WWE Champion Drew McIntyre and gives his own intro for the champ. Drew comes out and stares Ziggler down. Ziggler and Drew take their seats while the female superstars are still standing. They finally take their seats while Ziggler addresses McIntyre. WWE NXT developmental trainees look on for the crowd. There's also other, and some are wearing face masks, some are not. Ziggler goes on about Drew and how he will do what he does best at Extreme Rules, the horror show, and that is survive. Ziggler says Drew's 19-year redemption story will disappear, just like that. The crowd boos him. Ziggler says he created Drew, and at Extreme Rules, he will destroy him. Ziggler signs a contract for their WWE title match. McIntyre stands up and signs next. Joe takes their contract, and Drew says the match is official. Drew responds to Ziggler and says he hasn't figured out why Ziggler needs the title so bad. He's never had that center of attention. He's always wanted because he always drops the ball when he's close to the finish line. Drew says he's going to hurt Ziggler, slaughter him. Ziggler will lose and will lose because of Drew. Drew goes on and says he will let Ziggler pick the stipulation for the match at Extreme Rules. Ziggler responds, but Asuka interrupts by screaming at him and speaking Japanese. She laughs as Bayley and Banks taunt her. Asuka signs her contract. It was so chaotic. I didn't see much of anybody signing anything. Happened so fast. Banks addresses Asuka and says she's not who she faced before. Banks says she will become Banks 2 belts at Extreme Rules, and then she and Bayley will take over the whole dang company. Banks signs her contract by stamping it with her own custom stamp. Now, that's the part I seen. I didn't see Asuka sign at all. Bayley taunts Asuka and gets distracted. They start brawling. Ziggler tries to super kick Drew, but he catches it. Drew goes for a Claymore, but Ziggler escapes to the floor and avoids it. Drew and Asuka stand tall together in the ring as the music plays. Ziggler joins Banks and Bayley on the ramp. At that point, I'm predicting some type of match later on. Tom and Bryan hype the show from ringside. We see how Andrade and Angel Garza attacked Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, last week until the Viking Raiders make the save. We see Garza backstage trying to give a rose to a women's referee. Zelina Vega and Andrade also appear, and the referee leaves. Not interested in the bribe, Charlie Caruso walks up and asks Garza what he was talking to the referee about. Vega mocks Caruso. Charlie asks if Andrade and Garza think they're next for the title shot. If they win tonight, Andrade says they do. Big Show walks up and interrupts, disrespecting Andrade and Garza and saying he's up next so he can address Randy Orton. Show walks off and Vega isn't happy about his interruption. So to come second, Seth Rollins will ask for forgiveness as we go to commercial. I don't expect no apology for forgiveness. Back from the break, Tom confirms tonight's main event. Asuka and Drew McIntyre versus Sasha Banks and Dolph Ziggler. So, there you go. My prediction. A mixed tag match. I didn't predict that, no. Big Show is already out, but he's not happy. He takes the mic and gets right to business, calling out Randy Orton. Music interrupts, out comes Zelina Vega, Andrade, and Angel Garza to the stage instead. Show apologizes for interrupting their interview, but he says he's not in the mood to play tonight. And if they get in his way, it will be bad news for them. What do you think he is? Wade Barrett? Garza and Andrade taunt Show from the stage, laughing at him. Show says he has boots older than Garza. They mock him for being a so-called legend. Garza says Show will learn what Raw Tag Team Champions and Street Profits found out. Show is ready to fight Garza and Andrade now. Vega says Show will now find out what happens when you disrespect them. Garza and Andrade surround the ring. Vega taunts Show and says he can now say hello to Christian and WWE Hall of Famer Edge in a retirement home. Before they can attack, the music interrupts and out comes the Hall of Famer Ric Flair to the stage. Flair is all smiles as Show looks on. Flair says he has respect for Vega, Garza, and Andrade, but he needs to have a word with his old friend Big Show. Flair praises Orton and says he will take Show out whenever he wants to. Flair says he's doing Orton's light work right now, but Orton is in the back and will come out when he feels like it. Flair taunts Show by saying he's been busy making cartoons for Netflix. Flair goes on insulting Show and tells Vega to take Andrade and Garza and have some fun at Show's expense. Show tells them to bring it as they start circling the ring again. Music hits and out comes the Viking Raiders. Garza and Andrade meet Eric and Ivar on the ramp, and the two teams start brawling at ringside. We go to commercial. Viking Raiders versus Andrade and Angel Garza. What's your match? Next. Back with the break, Eric goes at it with Angel. Zelina's on commentary. Eric gets the upper hand and tags in Ivar for some double teaming. Ivar levels Garza for a pop and a 2 count. Ivar grounds Garza and uses his beard as a weapon. Ivar with a big shoulder thrust in the corner and a tag to Eric. Eric keeps Garza in the corner and quickly tags Ivar back in for a double team. Ivar with another big thrust in the corner for a 1 count. Ivar then works Garza over for a quick pin attempt in the middle of the ring. Eric tags back in, and slams his partner on top of Garza. Garza ends up countering and tagging in Andrade, but Eric immediately knocks Andrade off the apron. Garza rips his pants off, and they end up double teaming Eric with an attack from behind. Garza did not, that report was false because of one of the Viking Raiders ripped him himself. Pulled them off. They actually are snapped together anyways. Well, he ends up coming from behind and only gets a 2 count as the crowd boos him. Andrade works Eric over. Garza takes over control and beats on Eric in the middle of the ring. Eric with a huge right hand to send Garza back down. Andrade tags back in and ends up arguing with his partner. Andrade tells Vega he doesn't like this. Andrade looks to walk out on the match, yelling at Garza as he backs up the ramp. Vega leaves the announce table and goes to Andrade on the ramp, trying to talking back to the ring. We got a commercial. Back from the ring, Garza is beating on Eric in the corner. Andrade is back in the corner, and Vega is back on commentary. Andrade tags in and unloads on Eric in the corner, beating him down. Vega says the problem between her clients are non-existent. Eric fights off both opponents in her corner and hits big knee to Andrade's face. Ivar tags in and runs wild, nailing Garza as he tags in. Ivar gets a pop and takes out both opponents again. Ivar was sent on to Garza off the second turnbuckle. Garza slides out of a hold from Ivar and ends up blocking the springboard back elbow with a drop kick to the back. Garza is down, but Andrade reaches for a tag. Eric and Andrade tag in, going a bit. Ivar gets Garza on the top of Andrade, while Eric is holding them both. He slams both opponents at once. Andrade blocks the Viking experience. There's a chaos with all 4 superstars out. Andrade blocks the German suplex from Eric. Garza ends up ramming Eric into the post on the floor. More chaos, leading to Garza hitting the wing clipper on Eric in the middle of the ring. Andrade stops Ivar from making the save as Garza covers for the pin and the win. Both of them got back in the middle of the ring. After the match, Andrade hits to the back first by himself as his music plays. Garza makes his exit, and Vega raises his arm on the ramp. We see how Lana helped Natalya beat Liv Morgan last week, but also see Ruby Riott tried to talk to Liv after the match, but an emotional Liv walked off and said she doesn't mind Ruby making her feel worse. We see Iconics approaching Ruby backstage now. They talk her for a little bit, still not having any friends after all these years. They call Riott and Liv losers. Riott taunts them for blowing their WWE Women's title shots. Riott challenges one of them to meet her in the ring, and then the other can carry the one that got beat up to the back. Riott mocks their iconic catchphrase and walks off. We'll go to commercial. Come back from the commercial, and Liz Zelina is backstage trying to talk to Andrade and Angel Garza down. Ric Flair shows up and says they had a good win. He has an idea and wants to talk to them about it. 24/7 title match. R-Truth challenger versus Akira Tozawa champion. 24/7 champion Akira Tozawa is in the ring with his ninjas. We see how he won the title from Truth last week, thanks to MVP and Bobby Lashley. Out next comes R-Truth, rapping his way to the ring. The bell rings and Tom reminds us that the 24/7 rules are suspended during the match. The bell rings and Tozawa goes for a quick pin attempt. Truth takes control, but they do some comedy. Tozawa charges, and Truth sends him out to the floor. Tozawa runs back in, and they go at it. Truth acts like he's hurt, but this was just a ruse. Truth rolls Tozawa up for an easy win. Winner and new champion, R-Truth. After the bell, Truth celebrates, but the ninja try to roll him up. Truth kicks out of Truth. Truth dodges another ninja and runs away with the title as others chase him. Which will happen between MVP and Apollo Crews last week. MVP and Bobby Lashley are backstage talking about teaching Crews a lesson now. Seth Rollins is backstage with Murphy. No partner at his side. Rollins is holding Rey Mysterio mask. Rollins says, "This is the most important statement to date, and he has to do it right now." They walk off, and we go to commercial. Back for the break. Tom confirms Big Show versus Andrade and Garza in a handicap match for later. We go back to the ring. Out comes Seth Rollins and Murphy. Rollins is smirking and carrying the Rey Mysterio mask. Tom leads us to a video package on recent happenings between Rollins, Mysterio, and some Dominic. Rollins stands in the ring. Now as the crowd boos. A use-up chant breaks up from the crowd. As Rollins shakes his head. Rollins goes on about trying to give Rey a chance to leave on his own terms. Rollins says he must ask Rey for forgiveness. Rey must become a sacrifice for all. Rollins is forced to take a piece from Rey each time he gets in the ring, and he will break Rey down piece by piece until nothing's left but a memory. Rey and his son Dominic appear on the big screen from their home. Rey turns to his son and asks for forgiveness for what he has to do to Rollins. Rey goes on and says what he has to do to Rollins won't be fate. It will be by design. Dominic says he forgives his dad, but he will never forgive Rollins, and Rollins will never forgive what his dad does to him. Rollins gives Dominic credit for his strong words, saying Rey has taught him well, except for one life lesson. Be careful for what you wish for. Rollins says if Dominic keeps getting involved, he will be forced to end Dominic's career before it begins. The music interrupts, and out comes Aleister Black and Humberto Carrillo in the ring. Rey says it looks like Rollins has some company. Rollins and Murphy retreat as Carrillo and Black stand tall in the ring. We go to commercial. Back for the break. Rollins has words with Carrillo over Mysterio. Rollins says this ends now. He sends Murphy into the ring, and we've got a match. Rollins and Murphy versus Humberto Carrillo and Aleister Black. Aleister unloads on Murphy to get the match started. Murphy ends up turning around in the corner, and Seth watches from the floor after dodging a start. Rollins ends up decking Black while Murphy has the referee distracted. Black gets sent to the floor as Humberto looks on. Rollins is a legal man now. He goes to work on Black at ringside. Rollins brings Black into the ring and knocks him in the corner to avoid a tag. Black keeps control and tags in Murphy for double team to Booze in the corner. They beat Black down, and Murphy drops a knee in his back. Murphy grounds Black with a submission hold. Black finally gets an opening after a big right hand. Carrillo tags in and unloads on Murphy, taking him to the corner and stopping away. Rollins tries to run in, but Carrillo catches him. Murphy decks Carrillo. Carrillo comes back with a jumping kick to the head. Carrillo goes on and hits a big crossbody, but Murphy kicks out. Carrillo stops Rollins and sends him back to the floor. Carrillo keeps control of Murphy and goes to the top for a big missile drop kick. Carrillo goes for the 619, but Rollins pulls Murphy to safety. Rollins runs back to the apron, but Carrillo sends him back down with a pump kick. Carrillo goes to the top and leaps down to the floor, taking Rollins and Murphy back down. We go to commercial. Back for the ring, Rollins is in with Carrillo. They both go down and make tags. Black runs wild and decks both opponents. Black unloads on Murphy now and then kicks up. Rollins runs in, but Black cuts him off. Black with a moonsault to take both opponents down. Black goes for the Black Mass on Murphy, but Murphy rolls him up for a 2 count. Carrillo tags back in, but Murphy hits Black. Carrillo unloads and ends up hitting the 619 on Murphy. But Rollins breaks up the pin. Rollins runs the ropes and hits the suicide dive to send Black into the plexiglass. Carrillo sends Rollins back to the floor. Murphy nails a big shot to Carrillo as he turns around, but Black breaks the pin. Murphy goes up top, but Carrillo runs up and beats on him. They trade shots up top. Carrillo avoids a sunset bomb, but Murphy super kicks him. Murphy raises Carrillo, and Rollins follows up with a big knee from the top. Carrillo still kicks out of 2, and Rollins can't believe it. Rollins waits for Carrillo to get back up. Black pulls Murphy off the apron, and they brawl at ringside. Carrillo rolls Rollins up off the structure for a 2 count. Rollins comes right back with a stomp to Carrillo for the pin and the win. After the bell, Aleister immediately hits the ring and attacks Rollins, but Murphy makes a save. They double team him and send him to the floor. Murphy launches Black into the timekeeper's area. Rollins orders Murphy to take Carrillo to the ringside area for payback for sticking up for Ray. They go to put Carrillo into the steel steps with an eye, but Carrillo fights back. Murphy ends up dropping Carrillo with half of the set, and the crowd boos. Rollins puts Ray's mask onto Carrillo and talks down to him. Murphy drags Carrillo to the steps. Rollins says this is for the greater good. He goes to put Carrillo into the edge of the steps, but Black makes a save. There's chaos at ringside again. Now, as Black gets dropped, and Rollins hits the top on top of the steps to Carrillo. Rollins and Murphy retreat up the stage as the music plays in the second. Asuka and Drew McIntyre backstage talking when Sarah Schreiber approaches for a comment for tonight's main event at Extreme Rules. Asuka speaks some in Japanese, and Drew says they are going to have some fun tonight on Raw before their match at Extreme Rules. Drew says he's letting Dolph Ziggler pick their Extreme Rules stipulation, so he can't blame anyone else when he loses. Drew also says that Sasha Banks is not ready for Asuka. Asuka says Ziggler isn't ready for Drew. Back from the break, Tom shows a video package from Friday's tribute to Undertaker on SmackDown. Ruby Riott is backstage with Lana approaches, bringing up how the Iconics were being rude to her earlier. I did not see this segment myself. Lana knows how hard it is not to have friends, but Riott interrupts and says she's not buying what Lana is selling. Go ruin someone else's career. Lana talks about how Natalya inspired her to get off the couch. She praises Natalya for having more wins than even WWE Hall of Famer Lita. Lana says we need a leader, and Natalya is that leader. She goes on and walks off, but Ruby isn't down with what she's saying. Back to commercial. Back to the break. State Farm gives us a look at Charlotte Flair's recent non-title win over Raw Women's Champion Asuka. Then the backstage attack from Nia Jax that injured her. Tom says Flair has a left collarbone fracture. There's your update for Charlotte. As she recently had surgery on something. Back from the break. We got Peyton Royce versus Ruby Riott. We go back to the ring. Out comes the Iconics. Peyton Royce with Billie Kay. Ruby Riott was out by herself. Billie Kay provides an early distraction, allowing Peyton to attack and go to work on Riott. Royce focuses on the shoulder and keeps Riott down. Royce mounts Riott for a quick pin attempt. Royce focuses on the arm some more, putting boots to Riott in the corner. Royce drops Riott and uses a middle rope on her. Royce keeps Riott down again by her arm as the crowd starts to rally. Riott tries to mount offense, but Royce hits a back suplex for a 2 count. Riott finally mounts some offense and hits the standing STO in the middle of the ring for a 2 count. Kay distracts Riott while she's preparing for a Riott kick. Royce rolls her up for a 2 count. Riott goes for a pin, but Royce kicks out. Royce with a big kick to the head and a spinning brake buster for the pin and the win. Winner of the match, Peyton Royce. After the match, Kay joins Royce in the ring, celebrates, means plays. We go to replays. Iconics continue to celebrate together while Riott sets up against the barrier at ringside, and they taunt her. Shorty approaches Big Show backstage for comments on tonight's 2-on-1 handicap match, and if he thinks this is a trap with Randy Orton lurking, Show knows Orton and Ric Flair have a plan. Show talks about Flair being the dirtiest player in the game for many years. Now Flair is mentoring Orton. Show welcomes that talent. He wants Orton to step in the ring and find out why he's the Big Show. As far as Andrade and Angel Garza go, they picked the wrong night because they're getting an angry giant tonight, not the friendly Big Show. Back to commercial. Back for the break. Tom announces Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Viking Raiders for Raw Talk, which happened earlier in the double contract signing. 2-on-1 handicap match, Andrade and Angel Garza versus Big Show. We go back to the ring. Out comes Big Show for the handicap match. Andrade and Angel are out next with Zelina. The bell rings and Andrade and Angel aren't sure who wants to start. Show ends up nailing a big chop to Garza in the chest in the corner. Show drops Garza with a headbutt. Garza goes goes out and back in after a break, and he wants some of the Big Show. He goes back out. Andrade is staying on the floor as well. Andrade goes to the apron, and Garza tags in. He hesitates, and Show waits. Andrade tries to German suplex Show, but Show just overpowers and sends him into the corner. Show with a big shot to Andrade's chest in the corner. Show launches Andrade in front of the apron and slams him for a pop. Show scoops Andrade and slams him again. Show steps on Andrade and keeps control with another headbutt. And another to send Andrade into the corner. He falls and tags in Garza. Garza ends up getting an upper hand and keeping Show down with boots. Andrade tags in himself in, and Garza isn't happy with it. Andrade kicks Show, but Garza yells at him. Andrade shoves him, and they have words. Garza walks out of the match as Vega tries to fix things. Andrade turns around to Show, grabbing him for the choke slam, and Show covers him for the win. After the match, Show hands over Andrade and looks down at him as the music plays. Show grabs Andrade and delivers a big knockout punch to him. The crowd chants for the Big Show. As his music starts up, Vega and Garza are gone. Go to replays. Ricochet and Cedric Alexander backstage with Apollo Crews. Truth walks up, and he's a little nervous over his 24/7 title. Truth says he finally got away from Akira Tozawa and the Ninjas. Next match, Apollo Crews versus MVP. Back from the break, out comes MVP with Bobby Lashley. They go on about U.S. champion Apollo Crews and how MVP has helped. Lashley tapped into his limitless potential. The music hits and out comes Crews. He denies disrespecting MVP. He goes on about how MVP kept pushing and pushing because the only person MVP truly cares about is himself. MVP says Crews didn't want him as his manager, but now he will find out how he really didn't want him to be his enemy either. MVP tells the referee to ring the bell for the non-title match. The bell rings and they go at it. MVP drops Crews and tosses him some more. Crews misses a drop kick and MVP misses a kick. They tangle and Crews mounts offense, nailing a drop kick. MVP gets pressed and dropped to the mat. Lashley pulls MVP to safety as the crowd boos. Crews leaps out and takes Lashley down the ringside. MVP grabs Crews and launches him into the barrier as we go to commercial. Back from the break, MVP is in control in the middle of the ring. MVP levels Crews with a big boot and grounds him to the mat. MVP keeps control and covers for a 2 count. MVP misses a running big boot in the corner, and Crews moves out of the way. Crews with lefts and rights as the crowd reacts, and Crews yells out. Crews with a big splash in the corner and a spine buster for a 2 count as Lashley looks on. Crews goes to the top, but Lashley distracts from the apron, allowing MVP to drop Crews. MVP with another big boot in the corner. MVP follows up with a fisherman suplex for the pin to get the non-title win. After the match, MVP stands tall as we go to replays. Lashley ends up applying full Nelson to Crews after the match. Officials try to pull him off. Ricochet and Cedric Alexander run down, but they also can't break it. Lashley pushes them off, keeping the hold locked in. Ricochet and Cedric attack again, and this time the hold is broken. We go to commercial. So we got Ricochet versus Bobby Lashley. Back from the break, Ricochet going at it with Lashley in the middle of the ring. MVP and Cedric Alexander watch from ringside. Ricochet blocks the suplex and kicks Lashley from the apron. Lashley responds by dropping Ricochet with an elbow. Lashley launches Ricochet back in the ring over the ropes. Lashley charges with a running shoulder to the gut in the corner. Lashley with a suplex, holding Ricochet high in the air. Could not get the vertical suplex that he always holds for Ricochet kept moving. Lashley covers for a 2 count. Lashley tosses Ricochet out in front of the announce table. MVP picks up Ricochet and drops him face first on the announce table while the referee was distracted by Cedric running over. Lashley comes out and launches Ricochet into the barrier. Lashley brings him back into the ring, but Ricochet fights him back. Lashley catches him with a big inverted power slam, but Ricochet still kicks out of 2. Lashley then continues to dominate Ricochet. Ricochet is tossed back out, and Cedric tries to help him, but is warned by the referee. Lashley follows and tosses Ricochet around on the floor now. Lashley scoops Ricochet on the shoulders and runs him into the ring post with force. Lashley breaks the count and brings Ricochet back in. Lashley returns to the ring, waits for the spear. Ricochet gets up, but falls right on his face, avoiding the spear. Ricochet slowly gets up as Lashley stalks him. Ricochet blocks the full Nelson, the tangle, and Ricochet sends Lashley over the top to the floor. Ricochet runs the apron and leaps off, but Lashley catches him. Lashley goes for the ring post again, but Ricochet pushes him into it. MVP helps Lashley beat the 10 count. Ricochet hits him with a moonsault for another 2 count. Ricochet goes to the top. MVP yells at him from the top, but Cedric pulls MVP down. Lashley and Ricochet go at it, but Ricochet nails an enziguri and a super kick to bring Lashley down to one knee. Lashley then catches the kick and drives Ricochet into the mat. Lashley stalks Ricochet and applies the full Nelson now, manhandling him for the easy win as Ricochet taps out. After the match, Lashley stands tall as MVP hits the apron. Cedric comes back in to check on Ricochet, but Lashley ragdolls him in the full Nelson as the crowd boos. MVP raises Lashley's arm as the music starts back up, and we go to replays. Dolph Ziggler backstage with Sasha and Bayley. He wants to take the reign to be like a player coach for tonight's main event. Banks recalls how Ziggler was just one SmackDown losing to Otis with Mandy Rose. Bayley says Banks is trying to tell Ziggler not to screw this up. Ziggler agrees and walks off back to commercial. Back from the break, we get a look back at what from earlier in the double contract signing. McIntyre and Asuka versus Dolph Ziggler and Sasha Banks. We go right to the ring for tonight's main event. WWE Champion Drew McIntyre comes out first. Raw Champion, Women's Champion Asuka is out next. And Tom hypes the two top red brand title matches for WWE's Extreme Rules. The Horror Show pay-per-view. Dolph Ziggler was out first for his team. Out next is the Raw Tag Team Champion Sasha Banks and SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley. Bell rings and Bayley joins the announcers for commentary. Ziggler starts with McIntyre. Ziggler goes for the takedown, but Drew tosses him across the ring. Dolph tries again, but Drew overpowers him. Ziggler talks trash in the middle of the ring. As Drew drops him with a big right hand, Drew unloads in the corner. Drew with a big chop to the chest to bring Ziggler back down. Ziggler fights Drew off and nails an early favoriser, but Drew kicks out before a 1 count. Drew shoves Ziggler back in the corner. Banks tags in, forcing Asuka to come in. Drew stares Ziggler down, but he backs out of the ring as Asuka comes in. Asuka and Banks have words in the middle of the ring. Asuka shoves Banks. Banks ducks a back fist, and they go at it. They run the ropes. Asuka drops Banks with a shoulder. Asuka misses a hip attack in the corner. Banks blocks a strike, but Asuka reverses. Banks fights off with an Asuka lock. Ziggler runs in, but Drew cuts him off and sends him out to the floor. Asuka takes Banks down. Banks rolls to the floor for a breather. Joining Ziggler at the announce table, we go to commercial. Back from the break, Ziggler ends up on Drew's back with a sleeper. Drew fights him off and unloads in the corner again. Drew with a reverse Alabama Slam attempt, but Ziggler turns it into a roll-up for a 2 count. More back and forth with Ziggler dropping Drew with a big DDT. Banks tries to rally as she waits for a tag. Banks tags in, and then comes Asuka. Asuka meets Banks with a drop kick. Asuka with a big knee to the face and a hip attack in the corner. Asuka with a big German suplex and a sliding knee to the face for a close 2 count in the middle of the ring. Asuka runs the ropes and knocks Banks off the apron with another hip attack. Asuka goes to run off the apron, but Bayley distracts her from the announce table, allowing Banks to drop her. Banks barely connects off the apron with a meteor on the floor. Banks brings it back in the ring for a 2 count. Banks works Asuka over in the middle of the ring now. Asuka kicks back from the mat. Banks with a suplex for another pin attempt. Banks then keeps Asuka grounded on the mat now as the crowd tries to rally. Asuka fights back, fights Banks off, but Banks sends her into the corner and blocks some moves. Banks with a big double knees in the corner for another 2 count as Ziggler watches from ringside. Asuka avoids the sleeper, but Banks brings her down to her knees in the middle of the ring, putting a knee to her back. Asuka fights up and out, Banks catches a kick and then kicks Asuka in the face. Banks immediately responds with a code breaker, and then both go down as their partners reach for tags. Ziggler tags in, and then comes Drew. Drew runs over Ziggler with a clothesline. Drew with a big overhead suplex, and then another out of the corner. Drew goes to the top and hits a big right hand on the way down. More like a X handle. Drew kicks up for more cheers from the crowd. Dolph blocks a future shock DDT. Drew blocks the DDT and launches Ziggler into the corner. Banks tags in, but Drew sends Ziggler to the apron. Banks yells at Drew to get out of the ring. She then puts hands on him, and Ziggler gets knocked off the apron to the floor. Banks doesn't see Asuka come in, and she gets dropped with a big kick to the head for a 2 count. Ziggler ends up sending Drew into the ring post, face first on the outside. Banks counters, then counters the Asuka lock with a roll up for a 2 count. They tangle some more, and Banks applies Banks statement in the middle of the ring. Asuka gets out and drops Banks with an arm bar. They tangle on the mat some more, and Banks gets a pin for the win. After the match, Bayley joins Banks and Ziggler at ringside as they celebrate. Banks' music hits, and they all jump around, screaming together as Raw goes off the air. Winner of the match, Sasha Banks and Dolph Ziggler. And that concludes my video for this week's Raw. Thanks again. Peace out. See you on the video. If you don't know, just call me brother or sisters.